tonight you can lock your door and sleep alone. But for ancient humans, being alone after sunset was terrifying. There were no walls, no lights, and no alarm. Only darkness, cold air, and sounds moving beyond the fire. So how did an ancient human survive their first night alone? The answer begins with fear. Not the kind of fear we imagine today. Not fear of ghosts, silence, or being uncomfortable. This was older, sharper, and more useful. It was the fear that kept the body awake. For most of human history, night was not peaceful. Night was when vision weakened and danger became harder to see. A person alone could not watch every direction. They could not sleep deeply without becoming vulnerable. They could not hear everything over wind, insects, rain, or fire. And they could not know whether movement in the dark was harmless. It might be a branch, it might be another human, or it might be a predator waiting beyond the light. Ancient humans survived because they rarely lived alone. They moved in groups, they slept near others, they shared warmth, food, warnings, and protection. A group could divide the danger. One person could rest while another stayed alert. A child could sleep between adults. A wounded person could survive because others protected them. But sometimes, someone was separated. Maybe they walked too far while hunting. Maybe a storm broke the group apart. Maybe they were injured and could not return before nightfall. Or maybe they were forced to hide until morning. That first night alone was not just lonely, it was a survival test. The first rule was simple. Find shelter before darkness becomes complete. Open ground was dangerous. A human body standing alone on a plain was easy to see, so they looked for natural cover. A rock overhang, a shallow cave, a thick tree line, a fallen log. Anything that protected the back and narrowed the front. Ancient humans did not need a perfect house. They needed fewer directions to defend. A wall of stone behind them changed everything. It meant danger could not approach from all sides. It meant the eyes only had to watch one opening. That small advantage could decide whether morning came. The second rule was fire. Fire was more than warmth. It was a boundary. It made darkness visible. It made smoke, heat, and movement. It changed the smell of the campsite. And for many animals, fire was strange enough to avoid. But fire was also fragile. It needed fuel. It needed attention. It could die in rain, wind, or careless sleep. So an ancient human alone had to think before resting. They gathered dry sticks before sunset. They collected bark, grass, leaves, and fallen branches. They protected embers like something alive because, in many ways, fire was life. Without fire, the night became colder. Without fire, predators could come closer. Without fire, fear became harder to control. But fire did not solve everything. It created light, and light created shadows. Every moving branch looked like a crouching animal. Every sound became a question. A snap, a breath, a rustle, a low call from somewhere unseen. The ancient human mind had to decide quickly. Ignore it, and danger might reach you. Panic too early, and you waste energy. This is where fear became useful. Fear sharpened hearing. It tightened muscles. It kept sleep light and broken. That kind of sleep was not comfortable, but it was survivable. Ancient humans probably did not sleep like we do now. Alone in the wild, they may have rested in pieces. A few minutes, then waking. A few more minutes, then listening again. The body did not fully switch off. It waited. Even today, we still carry traces of this. Many people sleep worse in a new place. The brain stays more alert than usual. It listens for unfamiliar sounds. It treats strange runes like uncertain territory. This may feel annoying now, but in the ancient world, it was protection. The third rule was silence. A person alone could not act like a group. They could not laugh loudly. They could not move carelessly through dry leaves. They could not waste energy shouting into darkness. Noise could reveal location, so they became small. They stayed low. They kept movement slow. They let the fire speak for them. But silence had another purpose. It helped them hear the world before the world reached them. Ancient survival was not about being fearless. It was about noticing early the smell of smoke shifting, birds suddenly quieting, insects stopping, footsteps circling instead of passing. These small signs mattered. A person who understood them had a better chance. The fourth rule was using tools as confidence. A stone blade, a sharpened stick, a heavy branch, a burning piece of wood. These were not perfect weapons, but they changed the mind. A human with a tool did not become the strongest animal. They became a harder target. Predators prefer easy prey. Something loud, bright, armed, and unpredictable is risky, so the lonely human made themselves difficult. They stayed near fire. They kept a weapon close. They chose a place with an escape route. They tried not to look weak. Survival was not always about winning a fight. Often, it was about avoiding one. And then came the hardest part, the mind, because the first night alone was also a battle inside the skull. Humans are social animals. We are built to read faces. We calm down near familiar voices. We feel safer when others breathe beside us. For ancient humans, loneliness was not just sadness, it was danger. Being alone meant no shared memory, no backup, no one to wake you, no one to hear your last warning. That is why isolation feels so powerful even today. The body remembers something older than language. Alone used to mean exposed. Alone used to mean vulnerable. Alone used to mean one mistake could end everything. So how did ancient humans survive it? They survived by turning fear into action. They found shelter, they protected fire, they stayed quiet, they listened carefully. They kept tools close. They slept lightly, and most importantly, they waited for the sun, because sunrise changed the world. Shapes became clear again. Predators retreated, paths returned. Smoke rose into visible air. The human could move, search, call, and follow tracks. Morning did not erase danger, but it gave the mind back its strongest weapon, sight. The first night alone may have felt endless, but every human who survived it learned something important. The dark was dangerous, but it was not unbeatable. A small fire could push back a forest. A stone wall could protect a sleeping body. A sharpened stick could change an animal's decision, and a frightened mind could still make intelligent choices. That may be one reason humans survived. Not because they were the fastest, not because they had claws, not because they were born fearless, but because even when they were alone, afraid, and surrounded by darkness, they could still think. Ancient humans survived their first night alone by doing what humans have always done best, turning fear into a plan.